Ow, excuse me. We're starting this one out with a hiccup. Hi, Capricorn. It is Rebecca, Empathic Crow. Please excuse me. This is for the energy of April 2026, but if it meets you at another time, it doesn't mean that it might not have a message for you. But it is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And let's see what the energy is. Sagittarius and Scorpio were pretty intense. King of Cups. With this moon being very prominent to me right now as I'm looking at this, and then this fish right here, which is making me see like Pisces and emotions. I feel like in this, the King of Cups is not representing, like on the outside is how I'm seeing it. It may appear as if you've got everything under control, but I feel like Capricorn, because I'm feeling it in my body, that right now it feels like an emotional, like whirlwind, like whirlpool. It's like a hurricane. There we go. The word would not come out. This is feeling, the card may not look like it, but what it's feeling like is an emotional hurricane. Like this fish up here may be jumping out of the water, but it's feeling like it's kind of being propelled and thrown out of the water. Even though that ship is kind of sailing through, I feel like that's you on the outside. That on the outside, you look like you're coasting as best as you can, but it feels like there are a lot of emotions. And I'm hearing my last reserve. Like this cup is my last reserve of the emotional control that I have. So Capricorn, this feels very overwhelming. With this crown, the way I'm feeling it, hearing it, sensing it right now is, well, I just recorded a couple of days ago when I started the Zodiac reads, the Sanat Kumara channeled message. And one of the things that, and I've shown this, and I think it was Scorpio's reading, I felt called to was my quartz tiara. And I didn't understand why that was something I was called to. And then during the channel, it started feeling really heavy. And I know that it's not. I wore it on my wedding day. I've worn it at Halloween. I've worn it before. And it's not heavy at all. And it felt heavy. And in the channel, I said, heavy is the crown. So I'm feeling like this crown is not you feeling like you're in this, like you're in a position where people are coming to you and asking you questions, and you have a lot of things that you may need to manage, but it doesn't feel good. It feels like this is a crown that I want to take off right now because I don't want to have to be the one to make the decisions. I feel like, again, the way this feels, and I know this is one card, I feel like I want to be able to just exist. Like that you don't want to have to be the one in charge, the one that has to manage their emotions, the one who is living through the storm. And yes, you're strong, but it's like that quote, what is it? Something about sometimes you don't want people to tell you you're strong because you just want to have other people be strong for you. I can't remember exactly how it goes. Again, I know that's one card, Capricorn, but I feel like that is because like I'm feeling like I can't catch my breath right now. I tell you, I did Aries through Libra on Friday. I can't remember a lot about those reads. Haven't reversed the images or watched them back. So I can't remember a whole lot about them, but I don't feel like they were as intense as the reads that I'm doing today for, like I said, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and now you, Capricorn. So let's keep going and see what's going on for you. Like I said, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't try to force it and make it fit you, but if this is you, there's a quote coming into my mind. I put it on the back of a shirt that I made for myself. It's, strength is what we gain from the madness we survive. I don't know who said it, but yeah, strength is what we gain from the madness we survive. And like I said, sometimes we don't want to be strong. All right, so we've got the Lovers. This really doesn't feel like just a romantic relationship. This feels like relationships in general, where you're carrying them, Capricorn. you're carrying the relationships. You feel like you want for it to feel cohesive and harmonious, like, you know, these two crows making a heart. There's this human heart here, which feels just really vulnerable. It feels very open, you know, where there's not a rib cage in front of it and, you know, the skin and whatever. It's very open. It's very susceptible, vulnerable. With this snake, snakes aren't necessarily a bad thing, but it feels like, well, with all the things in this card that could possibly be good or bad. So I point out there's the moon right here, the blue moon, which can, well, even blue moon, you saw me standing alone. So you may be feeling lonely, especially if you're feeling like you're the one that has to take care of everything. So even if you're in a relationship, it may feel like sometimes you're carrying the support, and sometimes there are people there to support you. But I feel like sometimes you feel like you have to be so strong that, like, this division in the middle, there's not a clear divide here, but look, those two sides are completely different. And so I feel like for you, it's sometimes you feel like that this side with the bee's nest, and then I talk about there's this like looky-loo. If you look up in the very corner of the card right there, you see the eyes and the mouth. It's like this goodness on the other side of the card is missing. You feel like you have to carry everything on your own, but you don't necessarily have to. So I feel like that's where that's coming from, is that with your relationships, part of the emotional overwhelm is that it's not feeling like it's just you that you have to manage. And that could be true. There may be others, whether it's, you know, with these two birds, I'm seeing kind of like whether it's children, grandchildren, family, friends, whatever it is, that there's other people that you may be helping to take care of. And then here you are just trying to find peace. That's what I'm hearing. Just trying to find peace. All right, let's get a bit more for Capricorn, because again, that's only 2 cards, but it feels like there's a lot that's come through for those. What else for Capricorn? Yeah, I just feel like I can't catch my breath. I don't know if I said that or not, but that's how I feel, Capricorn. I know my allergies are a little ramped up right now with spring, and there unfortunately was a house fire that happened a little ways down the street. And so I apologize for the congestion and throat clearing, but that also started as I'm talking about you. So I feel like part of this is just that feeling of not even being able to get up. The next card you got is the Devil card. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, the Devil card is Capricorn energy. So it's the Devil card in general is not a bad thing. And then showing up as yourself is not a bad thing. With this, we've got this Eastern bluebird right here. And it is on a chain that is attached to a rock that I always say to me looks like a human heart. So it's interesting that you've got the heart right here. And so you've got this rock that looks like a human heart, the human heart, and then this cup. And they're all in the center of these cards. That's what I'm noticing. And so with this, oh, and I'm seeing something else too. So talking about this bird, if it would stop flying backwards and pulling the chain tight and it would just let itself relax, it could slip this chain off of its neck. I got the hiccups coming through really hard and heavy right now. Please excuse me. So it could slip the chain off the neck. With the crow that's representing the devil itself, it's not even looking at the bird. It's not holding on to the chain. It's what's beside the chain. But it's not really what's holding it down. It's bolted to this rock. I'm saying because in Sagittarius's read, whether it's pareidolia or however you say it, there was something that looked like a sad goat kind of looking down. And when I was looking at this goat skull right here, it looks like the front version of what I had seen in the card. What was the card? The Eight of Cups in this Crow Tarot deck. But anyway, where was I? Because your energy is just feeling all over the place. Like this looks like, and I haven't read it this way, but this looks kind of like lava. It's almost like they're in lava in the hot seat. But oh, what I was going to say with the two of these, like this crow right here and the King of Cups is sitting on the throne and looking to the side. And then you've got this crow. Their stances are very similar, but they're looking different ways. And I don't know why that's important. You don't know which way to look. You don't know which way to look. That's what I'm hearing. Capricorn, your reading, Scorpio and Sagittarius were intense. Your reading is very intense, 11:11 on the clock, intense in a way, but also it feels all over the place. Scorpio was all over the place, but in like a, I'm saying, because one of the cards that it's actually, was it the Lovers? No, it was another card. But in the card, it looked like a coffee bean at the bottom. And I was like, that's what you feel like. You feel like caffeine, like over-caffeinated energy or something like that. But Capricorn, with the Nine of Swords, I talked about the moon and how prominent it was to me in this King of Cups. Look at how prominent it is in the Nine of Swords. This situation is keeping you feeling trapped. You already got that in the Devil card energy. It feels like a cage, and it's keeping you up at night. It is feeling like a heavy weight on you. And even with these birds right here, I'm feeling like, are they helping? Are they extra people, situations, things that you feel like you're having to take care of or manage? It feels like a heavy weight. 12:22 on the clock. It feels like a very heavy weight. And here you are down at the bottom just trying to rest, and you can't. There's clouds coming in. There's the moon, which can represent anxieties, things coming to light, but it feels like the things coming to light aren't helpful. Things hidden just feel like extra things that could possibly add more weight. I'm just feeling like this huge weight. Like it's just this heavy burden. And with this crow skull on the sword here, that's feeling like a mask to me right now. I've never read it this way, but it's feeling like you hung your mask up. You've got all these swords coming down on you, and you hung your mask up. You're like, I just need to take this off for a moment. I just need a moment to think, is what I'm getting. I just need a moment to breathe. So I know this feels very heavy right now, Capricorn, but we're going to keep 13:33 on the clock looking at what's going on. Let's bring in the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann and see what comes through here. This is a very heavy energy, but at the same time, I feel like it's like you're moving through it. What's coming through from the... Yeah, Capricorn, the first card to come out is the last card that we got out of the other deck, the Nine of Swords. This is heavy. This is a lot going on. You and Sagittarius, very heavy energies. But at the same time, what I'm noticing here is that... Is that a crow? Okay. So you've got these crows, and you see the darkness coming in around them. But look, that's like the outline of a crow. It's like you're being guided by at least one spirit on the other side that's around you. And this red, you're just trying to ground. You're just trying to ground yourself, trying to stay rooted. Her trying to not float away. I feel like you want to just float away sometimes, but you're trying to just stay grounded. One of the things that this card I'm feeling called to bring out versus this card right here is that, notice with this card, there's really not much in this card that's positive. There's clouds, there's a cage, we've got the moon, we've got the two crows here. We're not sure exactly if they're adding more weight. They're definitely not necessarily helping. And it's very dark. Whereas with this card, it's also the Nine of Swords. But look at the light. And then there's also stars, if you can see them. And then, like I said, up there, there's some assistance coming in. There's some divine assistance coming in. And I know sometimes it can feel like, well, how is it going to help me? But it can. We've just got to let it. But let's see what more. Well, oh, and I didn't even notice that. Look at that. Look around her. She is like surrounded by these sparkles. You may not feel it, but there's something going on behind the scenes, whether it's someone here in the physical world, whether it's divine intervention, whatever, that is supporting you, even if you don't feel it. So I feel like you're being called to allow yourself to pause and look at, yeah, like especially where I was saying here, you know, there's not a lot positive going on. Here, you know, she's distraught. She has her hands and her head in her hands. I can't talk right now. Like, this energy is just like feeling like, I can't even think, like you're so overwhelmed. But look, she's not even noticing this being up here. She's not noticing the light around her because her head is in her hands, understandably so. But you're being called to pause and look at, what are the things I can do? What are the things that I do have? So we had two cards that came out, and this makes perfect sense. So we've got the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords, and I know you've got like 3 sword cards now, but the Four of Swords is exactly what I was just saying. You're being called to give yourself a rest, to give yourself some nurture, nurturing yourself, some self-care. We've got the heart right here, and you see the thread's been pulled and everything, and that thread is wrapping around her. This is a time where you're working on kind of healing those wounds. Notice she's in this fetal position, like pulling yourself back into yourself. Really grounding is what I'm hearing. Grounding yourself. And there's a lot of that red there. And even on this thread, back to the hiccups, there are like these little pearls. Like, I feel like trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, connecting with your higher self. I haven't read it that way before, I don't think, but that feels really important. And then also notice she's in this nest, but look at how the background up here looks very similar to the background there. So taking some time to allow yourself to feel the feelings, but not getting so stuck in them. Allow yourself to rest, heal, move through it. And it's okay to lean on others. Like, sometimes that nest that's cradling us is us leaning on others. And then we have the Page of Cups. And with this, you see there's a pig up here that has wings. So like when pigs fly, there's the cup, and he's like, it's like he's kind of, notice these hands right here, kind of like the crow. Hold on. Like this. It's like these are wishes, these are daydreams. And I feel like you're wishing and wanting for the emotional waves and hurricane and everything to calm down. And right now it feels like it's just a dream. It's just a daydream. It's just a wish. I want this peace and harmony. I want, you know, those situations and connections that feel supportive and healthy to come in. But right now you're seeing it as just, yeah, like when pigs fly, then this will happen. And I feel like what these cards are saying is that it is happening right now, but it doesn't feel that way. right now doesn't feel super supportive. It really, what I'm getting is just trying to, like, I'm seeing the pants. It's interesting because they look more brown where he's sitting here, and they look more green up here. So that green heart chakra, we've got a lot of cards with the heart in it. So you may want to guard your heart, because it's like one thing has happened. It just feels like it's a never-ending story, never-ending roller coaster. Even though I'm going like this, that's not a roller coaster. A roller coaster is like this. But it's like round and round and round. Like I'm seeing clothes in a washing machine now. They're like, you want a different image? Here's the different image. And they're just like tumbling. And it feels like you feel like you're one of the pieces of clothing just tumbling in the water of emotions. But remember, when the clothes are in the washer, they're tumbling around, but they're also getting clean. So some of these things that you feel like are just dreams, that tumble is bringing them into fruition, but it's how you view it. I tell you, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn, these reads have been less direct and a lot more intense. I can't remember. Maybe the other ones were a bit like this too, but definitely these. All right. So we've got the Death Rebirth card, 13, which breaks down to a 4. So with the Death card, yes. And you've got a lot of this red and cards that have very definitive symbols that may be seen as very negative. But just keep in mind that in order for there to be something new, something bright, there has to be an end to something else. If you're going through difficult times, in order for you to get to the times that are not feeling so overwhelming, something has to end. So whether that's being able to figure out how to not feel like you're always having to manage everything, whether that's taking a rest, it could be you being able to set boundaries, not blocking your heart, but setting some boundaries, delegating tasks, whatever that is for you. Because the Death card is coming in and saying you can't continue this way. That's why, part of why it feels like I'm seeing a nightmare. It feels like a nightmare because something has to end, and things that have ended, even if they weren't in the way that you would want for them to, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It may be, it's not necessarily a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not necessarily a good thing, but like I'm seeing the Phoenix, like you're rising from the ashes, you're creating something new, and maybe you would have continued doing the same old thing, and it may have just kept you in the same place, in this place where you felt like you were constantly spinning in the washing machine, tumbling, not knowing when you were going to come out of all of this watery emotion. And it's the only way it can end is that it literally ends. We've got the Page of Swords here. So I feel like this is you trying to think of new things, new ways to approach things. This is you looking at things differently. Look at the balloons are light bulbs, bringing in new ideas, maybe even researching some new things. Notice that this is a person walking across a pole while looking at a book. Like there's a little bit of the Fool energy in this card. And I'd say that it's partly about balance, having the confidence that you can move forward. That's part of that yellow, that solar plexus chakra. I do feel like sacral chakra could be important for you, bringing in some of that playfulness, because it feels like it's been a long time that you've really allowed yourself to be playful. So some of it's going to be bringing in some of that playfulness. You may have done some playful things. She's even barefoot. Like she's dressed up, but she's barefoot. So unconventional is the word that I'm hearing. It's going to be something that you wouldn't necessarily see as like what you would usually do. Does that make sense? Apparently we're throwing the past ideas on the floor. Don't reject that idea, Capricorn. I'm not going to get that right now because King of Pentacles. Right, getting grounded, being in that heart chakra. He's got his dog or there's a wolf here. So you got your intuition on point, getting grounded and building that life that you want. The King of Pentacles, he's already done the things. He's got the life that he wants because he put in the work and he built what he has. And it may feel like you've been building and building and building and it feels like it's crumbling apart. But just remembering that sometimes when things feel like they're falling apart, it's because this foundation wasn't stable. It's not that you're not stable. The foundation wasn't stable. The situations, whatever got you in this energy where you feel so overwhelmed. 9 of Swords, right? It's not something that you can sustain and maintain, and you're not meant to. So just remember, you're the key to turning this around. And I know you don't want to hear that. That's why the rest is so necessary. And the getting out of your head and feeling like things are daydreams. And the Page of Swords, starting to think about things differently, bringing in those new ideas. All right, Capricorn, let's move to another deck. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, even though it feels like we've got a lot of emotions and things that have come through. And let's just see what can be helpful to Capricorn. What can be helpful to Capricorn right now? At my desk, I keep moving it. All right. Capricorn, if you are a workaholic, and trust me, I get it. I continue to sometimes, a workaholic before, and what it does is it gets you into burnout. I feel like this card is calling you to be, again, more playful. Just like I said with, the card that's on the floor, the Page of Swords. To think outside of the box. I'm being called to ask. There's a butterfly. A butterfly just flew even closer than a crow did a little while ago, right up into my window and then went up. This is a time of change, and I feel like you're being called to look at things differently, to do things differently. Definitely more play. I love I have had cards fly out of the deck, 27 on the clock. I've had cards fly out of the deck and land on the floor. I have thrown some cards on the floor before playfully, but I have not just dropped cards on the floor like this. So we are letting go of the old ideas, Capricorn. And also, I think that was workaholic, but it fell face down. Like that need to just constantly do task. I'm just seeing, I used this metaphor the other day, or analogy with someone the other day, where it's like the old, if you're older like me, the old cartoons where you'd have the inbox with all these papers and the outbox had just very few. And what I was telling them is I'm seeing you there's a third box you've created, and that third box is this can wait, or somebody else can do this, delegating it, putting it out there, not feeling like I don't think I said it exactly that way, but not feeling like you have to do it right now, not right now. There's the in, there's the out, and I'm not going to focus on this huge inbox pile unless it's absolutely necessary. That's what that feels like. I got a couple of cards that I'm going to have to pick up off the floor. It's okay. All right, so completion. Again, this is going along with that death card. This is not necessarily a literal death. This is talking about an ending. Sometimes you're going to grieve an ending, and that can be anything. Loss of a situation, an injury, even if it's temporary, can cause some grief, even if it's a grief that doesn't last because you've lost the ability to do things a certain way. So with this completion, there are things that have changed, and it may feel like a death, and you may grieve it. But what this is saying is that it doesn't mean that what you had before isn't still there. This is a sacral chakra card. So this is I see it as it's creativity, passion, things like that, self-worth. But I see it too as it's you returning to you. So with some of these losses, just remember you can regain some of the things about yourself or discover new things about yourself that you want to bring in. And with this, if you do have someone who has passed, I feel like, because I'm seeing again with this Nine of Swords, look, they're both in the same corner. Like it feels like there's somebody on the other side who is rooting for you. I'm going to cry. Who is rooting for you and saying it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right, we got 2 more cards from that deck. Mysticism, again. So this is a third eye card. You create the things that you want to see in your life. You are more powerful in being able to manifest through your choices, through opening your eyes to possibilities and things like that than you know. And so part of this mysticism is you being the magician and recognizing that with that Page of Swords that's on the floor, you can create something new. You can reinvent something. You don't have to like put in all the work for it, but you can do something different, even if it's a little small thing. And it's hard to not be impatient. This is a throat chakra card. So I'm hearing watch your words. Watch your words, because especially coming after that mysticism card, and I talked about manifestation, it was 3113 on the clock. Words are powerful. And even if you think of it psychologically, what you believe, self-fulfilling prophecy, what you believe consciously or unconsciously, you will create. So Capricorn, 3131 on the clock, your reading is definitely going long. But I feel like this impatience, and notice that there's a divine guidance here as well. And there's that blue moon. Blue moon. You gotta change those thoughts, right? You gotta change those thoughts. Because again, what we are focused on. Oh, I'm going back to the Lover's card. So we're going back to the beginning. The side that you're focused on, that's what you're seeing. And if you're focused on all the things that have gone wrong, I mean, we have to focus on those to some extent. You have to deal with the things, right? But if you're not seeing things, no matter how small they may be, like the butterfly that flew up by the window, that may bring a little joy or playfulness. I'm not even going to try to look for it and pick it up, but playfulness. Oh, it's on the floor anyway. I forgot. Playfulness. Then life is going to always feel like you're trapped in this Nine of Swords. So it's definitely a mindset shift. Capricorn, I'm feeling called to pull one more card just to kind of get like an encouragement. So I'm trying to decide if we do Spirit Junkie by Gabrielle Bernstein or A Priestess of Light, or both. Let's start with the Priestess of Light. I know this is going longer and I'm trying to do a little bit shorter with these zodiac signs. I've been trying to do 30 minutes or less, but we're not far off from it. Did something flip over? No. So what is some encouragement for Capricorn, or something that they can focus on? 21, which breaks down to a 3. Guide, the illuminated path. Now what I want you to notice is you've got a wolf in your King of Pentacles, right? And we got a wolf right here. So part of that is you, your higher self. But again, there's a guide here who is saying it's going to be okay. The illuminated path. Notice that, again, it's not just that, but like even with the King of Pentacles, I said he created what he has. And we had that mysticism card. The light is coming out of, oh, here it is. The light is coming out of her hand. So this, her intuition, higher self, divine guidance, could even be people in the physical realm, support, is there as a support. She is out in nature, so grounding, again, all that red is a big thing for you. But knowing that you're the one, where's that mysticism? You create the path. You have the ability. You have the light inside of you. You are the mystic. I don't know why I couldn't say that. You're the mystic. You're the magician. You have this. You can create this, but you have to believe in yourself. I thought there was one more card. Oh, there is. I think Sagittarius ended with this card, 3, Wait, was the other one a 3? Yeah, 21 breaks down to a 3. So you've got 3, 3. Maybe that's important to you. I don't know. Calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. Actually, look. I don't know if this is the same lady, but she's got the glow coming out of her hands, and she does too. Again, just reminding you, with this full moon, release the things that no longer serve and allow yourself to create that magic. I'm feeling like the woods or nature, going out in nature somewhere, Capricorn, may be super important to you. And then I don't know why that just came into my head. I heard, just keep in mind that even though you may have horns, it doesn't have to be the devil horns. And I'm seeing the antlers, like I heard lighter on your feet. Like you don't have to feel so heavy. You can be lighter on your feet. So if that means something to you, because notice, even though this card actually has more light colors around it, she's still illuminated and there's a glow, even though it's darker. Don't be afraid of the shadows. That takes us back to this card. And that looky-loo. Don't be afraid of the shadows. You've got this, Capricorn. You do. I think that's it, to be honest. And that's a lot. So please take, if this reading has resonated with you in any way, please take some time to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're nesting, allowing yourself to rest and heal. And believe in yourself is the biggest piece of it. Focus on things that you can do. And it can feel like it's the most minimal thing ever. It can even just be taking a deep breath. Thank you, Capricorn, for allowing me to hold space for you. And hopefully this was helpful and maybe at least brought some encouragement, insight, or whatever. That's always the goal that I have with any of these messages that I provide. So if you feel called to, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It does help the messages get to more people, and it helps the community and channel to grow. I do enjoy doing these, so any energetic support I can get in that way, I definitely appreciate. If you'd like a private reading, I do those as well. The booking information may be in the description, but definitely will be in the bio. Thank you again, and hopefully I see you again, whether in another read or in May. Take care. Sending you peace. I know that that's something that it feels like you need.